What's up, guys? This is Justin with IGN. I'm here at Torbjorn with Grand Crew, and we're taking a look at your upcoming game, Supernauts.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Thanks for having us. So, this is our game, Supernauts. It's a 3D world-building game for iPad and iPhone. You can see here, I'm moving around my little character on the screen by tapping around. It's a full 3D game, right? So, with pretty cool controls, zoom in, zoom out. You can tilt in all kinds of directions and rotate up and down, and you have free camera movement as well.
Got it.
So the game takes place in the future, right? You can see the Earth here in the background, a little bit more blue than normal. So what happened in the future is that the polar ice cap started melting, and the Earth got flooded, and you assume the role of a supernaut, and your task is to build a new place for people to live orbiting Earth, and also to go down to Earth and rescue people.
Got it. And so before we started recording, you were showing me some of the building tools. They seem, you know, sort of dead simple to use.
So down here in your right-hand corner, you have your different materials, and you also have your different sappers. And this is what you use when you want to build or destroy something. So now I'm going to build something of tile. I just tap it, the camera locks in and zooms in, and now just by tapping my finger I can build something. I can also take my finger and drag it.
Got it. And it is sort of super simple grid-based like that.
Yeah, I can also of course move the camera while I'm doing this, so sort of after just a few minutes of building with this, people get really good control of it. They realize how easy it is, and you can just like that, boom, I built myself an ugly little house.
Got it.
So when I want to tear something down as well, I just select my zapper and then drag my paint with my finger, so to say, and then just like that, I can tear it down again in just a few seconds.
Cool.
My materials doesn't disappear, they just go back into my inventory, so I have them for later on.
Got it. And so you have, how do you get these materials?
So the materials are generated in an economy game, so we have these different buildings that you use. So for instance now, if I want to make some log, I slide up, I set a contract for 7 minutes, that starts producing log.
And so in 7 minutes you're going to get, you know what, like 30 more logs or whatever it was.
Exactly. I can also use hard currency here to speed it up.
Got it.
If I want to do that.
And so is that really, I guess it's worth pointing out that this is, you know, going to be a freemium release when it's finished, and that's how, you know, people can sort of pay to speed things up or, you know, just sort of wait for the materials to come in normally.
Exactly. Like the game is completely free. We're not charging for anything. You can play all the way through and get everything that's in the game. Without ever having to spend a cent if you don't want to.
Got it.
But for the people who want to build something really big and really cool really fast, they can get into that really quickly. So here, for instance, I built some crazy stuff that seems to be collapsing, but we actually have working physics, so we call them Tetris physics. As long as anything is connected by one block, it stands up.
So it's sort of physics. Obviously, it's not real-world physics, but if something is connected to the ground, then you're all right.
Exactly.
Cool.
So that's the main part, right? So people get into it, get into building stuff. We also have support for synchronous multiplayer. So my colleague Marcus here, he's the other Supernaut who just showed up.
Marcus.
Hey, Marcus. And you can see that the second that he shows up, there's a chat button in the corner that pops up. So now I can go, yo.
Okay, and it is worth pointing out that, you know, we're not really faking this multiplayer or anything. Like, he is on another iPad.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
right over there.
exactly. So I'm going to build something here while he's around. Ah, he ran away. Well, okay. Bye-bye, Marcus. So that's part of the multiplayer. I'll show a few more things there because we're doing a lot of really cool stuff with it. One more thing I wanted to show from the single-player feature is this cool thing here, right? After a while in the game, you get your own rocket. Very cool, retro-y looking stuff. And with that rocket, you unlock missions. So you can travel down to Earth, real-world locations, or you have to rescue people who are stuck. So we have Cairo, Tokyo, San Francisco.
Yeah, so it's not just, you know, obviously maybe the bulk of the game is sort of building your world and customizing it to look how you want. But, you know, as you level up, actually, I'm gonna take over and say, so you have that happiness, not happiness, the fabulousness meter at the top. And as you become more fabulous, you unlock new blocks, and that gives you new access to these single-player missions.
Exactly, right. So we have over 70 different materials at this point. And yeah, every time you level up, you get something new. You get a new mission, you get a new material, you get a new upgrade for one of your factories. You expand your place as well. Like, this is actually a relatively small world. Right,
so you get more space. So what do these single-player missions look like?
So the single-player missions, right, they're physics puzzles. Kind of simple, but very, very fun. So let's say, I think we could go for Be Strong in Cairo. So I should mention as well, the game is cloud-based, so it requires connectivity. You have to be online at all times. But that also allows us to do some really cool stuff. So
we're getting this
mission
here.
Yeah, so in this mission, I have to first eat some mushroom. Kids, don't do this at home.
Nope.
And then I have here, I can lift up, sorry, let's zoom in.
Well, Mario eats mushrooms, so maybe
exactly.
It's okay.
So I can actually lift this thing up, and I can drop it down here. I find a zapper. And with this zapper now I can take materials. What I need to do is I need to build a bridge to get across here. And then there's some people trapped up here. I have to get them down, so I have to build some stairs and get them to the life raft.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like a high-tech version of Lemmings in a way. but with only one person. But instead of having a bunch of different lemmings, you have your zapper and your materials.
Right. So the basic idea, I've only seen a couple of these single-player puzzles, but the impression that I get is that you know, you're basically taking materials and placing them in such a way that you can build bridges or repurpose
stairs,
those materials
exactly.
to you know, solve sort of puzzles that, you know, I don't want to call them simple, but you know, they're intended to be you know, solvable by kind of anybody.
Yeah, very solvable. So it's not really super challenging. You can't die or fail in any way.
Right.
But what you can do is you can continue to replay them. We might be adding some features as well in terms of like fastest playtime, using the zapper the least amount of times.
And so once these people, I guess sort of the storyline that weaves through this is that you're rescuing these people from the earth that's flooding, and so then they appear in your, you know, that's a guy that you sort of rescued.
Here's a person I rescued on a previous mission. He moves up and he starts living here with me, starts paying taxes, so I earn a little bit of coin from him as well.
Got it. So things sort of progress. You get bigger worlds, you rescue more people, you know, then you get, you know, even bigger worlds because they're paying in taxes, and you unlock new blocks and sort of progress on your way from there.
And with that, you can start doing some really cool stuff. So let's head to Captain Fabulous. He's one of our NPCs, but just to show a little bit of what you can actually build with this game. So this is his swanky space mansion that he has.
Okay. And so this is an example of, you know, one of the more elaborate worlds that somebody could build.
Yeah, so he has built
I like the hedge
mansion.
maze.
Yeah, and topiaries. And you can see here as well, like, not to get into boring techie stuff, but some of the materials are rounded and some of them are completely square, which allows you to do some really, really cool and neat effects relatively simply.
And that mansion is all, the interior is all, there we go. So it's different levels. I like your pathfinding that you have there.
I don't know, sorry, let's hide that one. He even has his love nest in here with his heart-shaped bed.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's essential.
Yeah.
It's important.
Everyone in the office, we're huge fans of Futurama, so we thought, like, Zap Brannigan is such a cool dude. Well, let's put something inspired by him in our game. So we decided to go with Captain Fabulous.
Awesome.
Yeah. So while we're on the multiplayer and social elements, so what we have as well, right, we don't have any competition in terms of winning, defeating, stealing, or destroying. We're keeping this game very friendly.
So you can't pop into someone's world and just tear it down?
No, that would just be, well, maybe in the future, who knows, but for now we're keeping this all right. But what we have instead is we have sort of a popularity contest. So you can see players, they receive rankings based on what they're doing. So here's one of the players who has one of the most popular worlds, one of our alpha testers.
And so this is, you are in alpha right now, and you're testing in a few countries, you know, and you're going to have a worldwide launch
later this year. So we're just finalizing everything right now. But
got it. And so this is something made by a live user.
Yeah,
this
is a live user who's
you.
been playing the game for a couple of weeks, and I actually really like this dude. I'm guessing it's a dude because he's building Voltron. Right, and we have Optimus Prime here, and he's also created the actual character. So he's built a Supernauts statue, and this is your helper robot, Sinclair.
Yeah, and people are leaving him little messages. That's what the notes stuck around are. Those are coming from other users.
Exactly. So you can visit any player's world. You can leave a message. If you're friends on Facebook, then you can also chat with them and get connected with that.
So, I mean, what else do people need to know about Supernauts? We sort of touched on all the sort of key points, I think.
Well, I mean, they need to know that this is coming soon.
Yeah.
It's a fantastically fun and simple experience to build stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very ambitious game. We've been working on it for 2 years. So it's going to be really fun to see what kind of crazy stuff people can create. Like,
awesome.
We're really looking forward to seeing the awesome stuff our players will be creating for us.
Very cool. Well, thank you for coming in and showing us sort of an early sneak peek at Supernauts, and, you know, letting our viewers get an early sneak peek at Supernauts. You're going to be able to get your hands on it soon. In the meantime, you know, for all the news on Supernauts and all the hottest mobile games, everybody can be sure to keep it locked to IGN.
Thanks, Justin.